Now, for grading purposes, one thing I have to reiterate over and over and over again is take lots of pictures while you guys are working. I have my phone on my desk at all times so that I can, if anybody's send me a text or whatnot, but also so that I can take pictures of the stuff that I'm working on. You guys have your phones at the ready. Make sure that you guys are taking pictures because that's how grades are being done. I need lots of pictures of the build process, the sketchbook process, the final product itself. We go over that more in detail, but those are imperative for the grades. And like I said, that's all for the grading process. So the more pictures I have, the easier it is for me to grade. It's also easier for me to make little tips of what you need to do to modify your work so it comes out as best as possible. Now, for this course, we're going to be doing just a handful of projects, and the reason is because of time and resources and space right now. So project wise, we're going to be working about between 4 and 6 projects this term. I know it sounds minimal that we're not doing a lot, but the pieces that we are doing have a lot of components to them. Now, the other half of the grade is really tied to art history. The art history assignment we do, I have a list of art history assignments that are going to be online. Now, each art history is comprised of 3 components. You have description, interpretation, and judgment. Now, description, you're listing the items that you see in the overall image. Interpretation, why did the artist make the decisions that they made? And finally, judgment, whether you like the piece or don't like the piece. This is very, very, very simple to do. You can knock out all of them, honestly, in about 2 hours. Each one is about a page write-up. Each section is 100 points a piece, so each art history is 300 points. So you're going to be getting over 1,000 points just in art history alone. Sounds like a lot of points, but it's the easiest credit that you can get in the class. Best part is it's all opinion based. All you really is selling me on that opinion, and the best way to sell it to me on is you're using things that you see to crystallize why you made the choices that you made. What is the reason, the rationale behind it? You're using facts, you're using data, using things that we can see to validate why you've made these decisions. Let's get into interpretation real quick. Why did the artist make these decisions? I am a big fan of using live artists, meaning not some old dead dude who died a couple hundred years ago and now we just look at their paintings or the sculptures. There's a couple of those because we do have to have some basics. Da Vinci's in there. I think Michelangelo has a piece in there too. But those are not the guys that I truly derive from. I'm a big fan of Huey and Raiden and Ohata. I like their work. It's modern, it's fresh, it's funky. Those are the things that I like and I dig, so I want to kind of put that stuff more into the stuff that we're doing. And why do I do this? Because it makes your life a lot easier. You can Google each of these artists. You can check them out on Instagram. You can check them out on YouTube. Some of them have YouTube channels. I know that Johnson Sang has a wonderful YouTube channel. It's all dubbed because he's a Chinese artist, so there's not English, but he goes into his process, why he makes the work that he makes, what kind of these themes are derived from, and that helps us understand where his work is coming from and gives us a better understanding of his process. How is that important for these write-ups? Well, that is all the interpretation is. You're telling us why the artist made these decisions. So if you want to use their own words to help solidify what you saw, what your thought is, and why they made this work, that helps sell the product. And I'm all for you guys using all these resources at your disposal. Just make it as awesome as you possibly can be, and let that also play into your judgment. If they told you a background story of something about their childhood growing up and they make these pieces because of it, that helps us as artists understand the world that they come from, a view, a vantage point that they're having. That helps us give us a better understanding into the world and why we like the piece or don't like the piece. Because you might look at a piece and love it to death, and then you tell them, talk about it, and you're like, this is really off-putting. This is throwing me through a loop. And that's a good story to tell, because you're telling us why those things that were interesting to you now are changed because you didn't know this was where this was coming from. And now you find that very horrific. You find it awful because they took something that was actually beautiful, something pleasant that you thought was pleasant. And then they started talking about it and you're like, this is deeply disturbing. This is not what I thought it was. And that's fascinating because it makes us think, makes us wonder, makes us question things, and that's always a good thing. It's always good to ask more questions and dive deeper and understand what things are going on. All right, for my class, I will see you guys in class. For the rest of you guys, don't forget to like, subscribe, share on all the various platforms. It's always good to get our message out there and help encourage as many teachers and students as possible. If you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns, don't forget to raise those hands in the comments below, and I'll be happy to get back to you guys as soon as possible. Other than that, I will see you guys next class. Until then, later, guys.